Hey folks, so macro photography, what is it? What does it mean? What's it used for? What's the point of it? And is it something you might be interested in? Well, first let's get into what it is. It is basically taking photos or video of objects at a very close range and getting very close up on the details of, let's say, a penny, like this video, like this picture right here. Okay, that's an example of a macro photo, and then this here is an example of macro video. So how do you get into macro photography and video? What equipment do you use? That is very simple. Every lens has a macro setting or a macro distance that is either labeled on it or you can find it. For example, this is the 50mm f1.8. Right on the side here you'll see 1.1 foot to infinity. Now the 1.1 foot means that's the distance you can get with the lens to your subject and it will still be in focus. Okay, some, like a zoom lens, might be 3 feet. So although it can zoom way in, you can't necessarily get the best pictures or any clarity when you try to get in really tight on something small, like an insect, like a coin or whatever. So what do they have out there on the market? Well, you can buy a macro lens for, anywheres from 125 all the way up, like everything else I keep saying. Or you can get extension tubes, which is what I did when I was curious about macro photography. And these are fairly cheap and they're adaptable to pretty much every lens, and they have different settings and different lengths. So like I said, you can get a lens like, let's say, the Canon 100mm f2.8. It's an L lens. I think it's currently like $6.99, normally $8.99. If you want to go that route, that's great, or if you want to see if you even like macro photography, you can go with something like this. This is a fairly inexpensive. I think this kit, DG, I don't even know, I bought it off Amazon. It got decent ratings. I'll post a link in the description below, but I honestly, I don't even remember when I bought these. It's been a while. But these are fairly decent. As all extension tubes are, is just that. They literally extend the distance. See, it's an empty tube. There's nothing in there. They just extend the distance that the camera the camera is from the lens, which changes your focal distance. So the longer the tube, the farther this is away from the lens, and the more narrow the focal distance is and the shorter the focal distance is. So as you'll see here in these videos I'm going to show you in a second, you can go with like this here, they come in this one comes in three different attachments: a 12mm, a 20mm, and a 36mm, and you can use them all attached together to make one very long, so what would that be, 70mm to 36? What's 68mm? Yeah, 68mm. So you can add 68mm together, and as you'll see in the video, well, here, just watch the video and I'll go over what does what. So how does an extension tube work exactly? Let me show you real quick. We're going to take one off. We'll take off this big one, and it attaches to the camera exactly like any other lens would. Red in the red, turn it, boom, there you go. That is attached, and then the lens itself will attach up here the same way. Line up red, red and red, turn it, and there you go, it's attached. Like I said, all it's doing there is creating some separation, extension, between the camera sensor and the lens, which is going to allow for a shorter focal distance. And that's it. It's that simple as far as how it attaches to the camera. Okay, so right now I'm using the 20mm extension tube with the 85mm Canon f1.8. And I'm basically shooting in auto mode here, but the point of this is just to show the differences here and how much closer you can get for the macro. Now I'm shooting video, but the same focal length will apply, or the same look will apply to photo. So right now I'm about, I don't know, a couple feet away, and this is the image we're getting. Now I'm going to attach another extension tube, and let's see how much closer we can get with a different extension tube. Okay, so I've added an additional 12mm extension tube. And now we are getting really close. We're getting a lot of detail here. And I've still got a rather large extension tube left that I'm going to add. All right, now I've added the very last one that I have here. And you can see how close I can get. Right about there is the sweet spot. And the Canon 85mm does not have image stabilization, so ideally this should probably be on a tripod, but for the sake of this I'm holding it by hand, and just to show you how close, what these extension tubes really are capable of. Okay, so here I am with the lens with no extension tubes on it, and I'm pulling back to see the minimal focal. Okay, right about there, and now I'm in focus. So, and as you saw before, I was into like right there. So that's what the extension tubes do for you. They let you get way in close there. That is what these tubes do, and they're compatible with every lens. I was using on that one the Canon 85mm f1.8. It's an older lens, and I've been looking over this lens. It does not have a macro setting on it. Every other lens had a macro setting, or a macro, whatever you want to call it, not setting, but a distance on it. This one does not seem to have one. It just says Canon lens EF 85 1 to 1.8. I don't know. I did not see one on here. So most of the lenses I have that on here, that information. But anyways, so those images that you just saw when I was using this combination here was of these. As you can see how, you know the size of the coins. And the distance we are right now, you can see me pretty well. So obviously it makes a huge difference on getting in really close on your subject. Now, with macro, the two key points you need to focus on. One is camera shake, because when you get really close, the slightest movement and that picture is going to be crap, or that video is going to be shaky, as you saw there. Now, I was using a lens that does not have built-in image stabilization, and the camera doesn't have great image stabilization, the T7i. So I had to use a tripod to get any kind of decent quality. But I think with most Canon, with most cameras in general, and when you're getting in that tight on something, you're going to have some camera shake, especially using extension tubes and everything. So it's important to have the camera stabilized, I think, on a tripod of some sort. I mean, if you can get away with it without one, great, good for you. I couldn't. I tried my hand. I just couldn't get it. So, and then the other issue is light. I was doing that, and I was using additional light on the actual. So I actually was shining. I tried it on the camera, and I got okay, in the hot shoot, and I got okay results. But I found if I angled it, with it on the tripod, I could get it perfectly to where I could get the maximum light. So the two issues then when you're shooting macro photography that I found is just light and stabilization. because if you're using, let's say, this lens, the f1.8, and you set it f1.8, you're getting such a small amount of a penny in focus, like just a little sliver of the penny in focus, which is no good. You want the majority of it in focus so you can see what you're looking at. So I had to bump it up. I think I went f7, bumped it up to f7, maybe f8, and I was getting pretty good results that way. And even then, at that, not everything was in focus, but it was a lot better results than using the f1.8. So, but that's it, guys. Macro in a quick video here. That's the essential gist of it. You know, I'm no expert by any means, and you know, if you've watched my channel long enough, you'll see I pretty much experiment with every type of photography because I'm curious, and this is all super fun and it's all new to me. But this is something that's really cool, and I'm looking forward to taking this out and getting some, you know, the insects and all the little things out there, the little organisms or pests or whatever it is you want to call them that are out there. And I mean, just getting the coins was pretty cool. So I don't know. That's it, folks. I hope this video was helpful. Happy holidays. Enjoy, be safe, and subscribe. All right, guys, thank you again for watching, and we'll see you soon. Some more.